guys, welcome to this MYXclusive interview. I'm VJ IE, and for today we have a singer-songwriter who even went to New York and actually did a program in the Berkeley College of Music. So thank you so much for joining us today, Chris Romana. How are you doing? Hi, welcome to
Hi,
Mix.
really good. How are you?
I'm good. And we're so happy to finally get to meet you today here on Mix. So let's get started. So let's first discuss where you grew up and how you ended up in New York, how you ended up studying there.
Yeah, sure. I grew up in China actually, and then when I finished high school, I went to New York for college, and then I also went to Berkeley for a bit. I did a program there, and
Which
then
program, if I may ask?
it was a summer program actually for songwriting and guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and that sort of like was the catalyst of what made me decide to want to pursue music more.
Oh, but back in China when you were there, were you also into music since you were a child? What were you listening to during that time?
Yeah, definitely. I was into music maybe in like middle school. I started. I was watching the movie School of Rock, and that sort of like changed everything for me.
School of Rock with Jack Black.
Yes, great movie.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, I mean, I got guitar lessons, and then I started to write songs, and I started listening to like John Mayer. John Mayer was like also a
Mm-hmm.
big influence for me. Are you a fan of John Mayer?
Yes, and he's coming out with new songs every Friday, right? This June. He just announced it. Are you aware?
Oh yeah, I
He just
saw that.
posted.
Super
Yeah.
stoked. That's gonna be sick.
hmm hmm
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
it's John Mayer, School of Rock. Basically, those were your influences as a kid. But throughout the years, of course, musicians tend to like find their own way, their own sound. They develop their own. So, how would you describe the music of Chris Santaromana?
Sure. It's definitely changing. Like right now, I'm really into this band called Turnover. If you're familiar, they're super good. They released like an album called Peripheral Vision like 5 years ago, and I've just been listening to that on repeat. But in addition to that, I also like before I had phases of like Lainey, Lau. So I'd say like it's just a good mix of everything that I'm interested in, and it's not really confined to one genre, but it's sort of like singer-songwriter, um, like structured.
hmm Exactly. You're a
Yeah.
fan. You're a fan of storytellers in general, no matter the genre.
Definitely. Um, and yeah, I'm really into like modern production too. So trying to like blend the two of those together, and then hopefully I can come up and make my own sound like
hmm So, were you self-taught when it came to playing musical instruments and producing?
that. Well, yeah, I started middle from that movie, and then I remember my dad was driving me around town, and we were looking for like a guitar teacher because there were a lot of
Mhm.
like Filipinos playing in bars in China. So we would actually go there, and we would scout out to see like who's the best guitar player. And then we would ask them after their gig, like, are you willing to teach me? And that's how I found my first guitar teacher named Myro. Yeah. So that's really how I started
Oh,
with guitar. And for production, like I got into production like a couple of years ago. Um, but I never really learned it like I learned it like a bit for like 1 year at Vinyl formally, but I didn't
mhm.
really it's mainly self-taught, I would say, like through online YouTube and just asking friends and getting people to help produce for me as well.
So YouTube University, basically.
Definitely, yeah. It's great. You can find
But
so much stuff on there.
I know, like, not learning something that you want to learn today is not an excuse anymore because everything's online, everything is on YouTube. But have you always wanted music to be your career since you were a kid, or did you have any other dreams when you were young?
Yeah, I had like this huge dream of being like a professional football player. So I would just
Ooh.
like practice all year round and try to get better. But I kind of realized that my passion was more into music when I went to college. Uh, and then I was part of like a guitar club in college. And then, yeah, I would like
What did
teach
you
people
study
guitar
though
there.
in college, like before you went to Berkeley?
Oh yeah, I did. a 4-year marketing and management information systems, which is like a computer course. So
Oh,
sort of like business related.
okay. May we know why you chose that course or that program in college?
Yeah. Um, it was sort of like I wasn't really into the sciences,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of interested in the psychology of like marketing and like how brands promote themselves and become better brands. And so that's why I decided to pick marketing. And it was one of the easier subjects in terms of like math. So that's why I picked it.
Oh, all right. Now, I can't help but notice, Chris, you speak English very well, but you grew up in China and then
Thank
you
you.
eventually moved to New York. Can you tell us, like, the story about that? Like, why did you not live in the Philippines? When did you move back here? What's the story behind that?
Okay, sure, yeah. So I was born in Beijing. I think it's mainly due to my parents and their sort of background.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was like a student leader, and so he was abroad, and that's why I was born there. And then I went to an international school, so that's why I kind of sound a little bit like this. And then I decided I wanted to try and try my luck abroad, so that's why I went to New York. But
Mm-hmm.
my parents are Filipino, so after I studied, I worked for a bit, and then I came back here, and like now I'm working for shout out to Ditto Music. I'm working for Ditto, and
Uh-huh.
that's what I'm doing now, and that's how I got into the industry, basically.
What was your day job before? Like, before you went to music?
Um, well, I still have a day job now, but
Ooh,
it was like
what
I was
is it?
selling Fender guitars before. So that was my first
Oh.
job in the Philippines, and it was really hard because I can't really speak Tagalog, but it was fun, it was interesting, and I got to meet a lot of people. And then right now I'm also doing marketing for Ditto Music, so I work with artists to help pitch their music.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those who aren't familiar with Ditto Music, can you tell us about the other artists there, and who they can look out for from Ditto?
Yeah, sure. Silent Sanctuary, trying to think of other Chocolate Factory, these huge artists locally, and we're like an independent distributor. So all of the artists that we have are independent. They're not signed to a major label, and that's sort of what we pride ourselves on. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Exactly. And we were able to interview a lot of artists here on Mix thanks to Ditto Music. So shout out there to Perry McDonald. I always see your name on emails. So hello, it's great to finally meet you. And Chris, I'm sure you've had your hand in that whole thing while why we're getting to interview a lot of artists. So thank you for that. Now
Definitely.
you're here as an artist. So let's talk about your
Yes,
music. So
sure.
um, please tell us about your latest single and what it's about.
So my latest single is Midnight for Two. I've heard a lot of like summer songs, they're more like the daytime, like going to the
Mm-hmm.
beach, hanging with your friends. I wanted this one to be more about like a romantic relationship, so I wrote it for the nighttime, really. That's why it's called Midnight for Two. And I think it's probably my best song that I've ever made, so I'm really proud of it. And yeah, I hope everybody that listens to it really likes it.
Mm-hmm. So, for those who haven't heard of it yet or haven't heard it yet, can you please sing a few lines from Midnight for Two?
Sure. What's the first line? Let me think about that. I wanna stay up all night with you. Are you up at this time? Can I come through? Yeah, I didn't know I'd be singing on this, but that's definitely cool.
But, wow. Okay, so it definitely does sound like something that happens in during the midnight. Forgive me for like asking, is it some kind of like a booty call? Like, is it gearing towards that or is it not? Because what people say when people when guys text you or contact you during that time of the day
Right.
or the
I
night
definitely,
rather.
yeah, I've definitely shown it to people and they've said that it's kind of about that. But I think it's more about that feeling, but then being with somebody who's like a permanent part of your life or you want to be a permanent part of your life. So it's a bit of both, actually.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. Just had to ask.
Right.
Okay. Also, I'm sure you're familiar, Chris, with Mix. We play out music videos. It's a big deal for us. You know, we
Definitely.
love music videos. Fans vote for it on our official website, mixph.com. So we'd like to know: is there a music video coming out for Midnight for Two?
There'll be like a How I Made Midnight for Two, I think. But it's kind of hard for me to
Oh.
film at the moment. But I'll definitely be releasing like a How I Made Midnight for Two soon. And I'm trying to get like a performance video, so we might be able to see that soon too.
All right, now let's talk about your debut EP, Mango Showers Volume 1. You released it just a few months ago. Can you tell us about this and why the name Mango Showers?
Sure. Do you actually know what mango showers mean, or should I say more
I
about
don't
that?
actually. So maybe you can explain to
Okay.
everyone first.
Yeah, definitely. So I was in college again. I was talking to my friend, and he was from India, and he
Uh
was
huh.
just telling me about like the weather in India, and he mentioned it in passing, just mango showers. I was like, what does that mean? And it's basically like torrential rain, seasonal rain. And then I thought about it, and when I was trying to come up with a title for my EP, I couldn't really come up with anything that I really liked. But I thought of like the Philippines, how I'm here, and how the songs are about love and heartbreak. And I thought that was sort of a good comparison with torrential rain and like crazy rains that we have here in the Philippines. So that's why I called it mango showers.
Yes, and mango is like the national fruit. It's very
Definitely, yeah.
catchy. Yeah, so great job on picking
Thanks.
that as the name of your debut EP. Okay, so what's the whole theme and what's the sound of Mango Showers, your debut EP?
I'd say it's like there's a bit of synth pop with like ink and paper, and there's more like singer-songwriter stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a song I wrote for my mom in there. It's like an acoustic song. Yeah.
Oh.
And then there's also what else is there? Um, yeah, sort of like everything that I've been listening to, like Lau Blaney, John Mayer, and that's sort of like that EP, that sound. And then there's
Mm-hmm.
Midnight for Two is like a sort of different sort of aspect or point of view.
Yes. Speaking of being different, one thing that you're doing, or one thing that you went through that not many artists prefer is that you busk in BGC. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so can you tell us about that? Why did you decide to go that route? I mean, in the age of digital media,
Yeah,
everything's online, and of course, you know this. You studied this. You're in marketing,
right.
but why did you opt to go that traditional route?
Yeah. Well, I think that idea started when I heard like Ed Sheeran was he would busk. And of
Hmm.
course, everyone looks up to Ed Sheeran. He's an amazing songwriter, amazing artist. But I also would see people like while I was walking down BGC, like busking, and then they would have like huge crowds of people. So it was always a dream of mine, I think since 2015 to busk. And I didn't get to do it until just last year, the year before. So I wanted to meet people and I wanted to feel like the real interaction of live gigs without having to go to a gig place and just have wherever you
Hmm.
want and play your music. And yeah, it's definitely a great experience so far.
So, how did the pandemic affect you? Did you have to stop, or are you still doing it right now?
Well, online, I like right now nowadays I do like online busking. Um, it's hard to I see some people still busking outside, but I just think it's a little too risky right now. So maybe next year when things are better, I can go back to busking. But it's definitely like a thrill, and it's so much fun seeing people interact with your music.
Oh, so you still plan on going back to the actual physical busking after the whole pandemic?
Definitely once this is done, yeah, it's just so much fun.
Oh. Okay, so now tell us about your online busking. Like for those who are watching right now who might want to attend your online busking sesh, where can they find you and what time, when? Please tell us all about the details.
Sure, yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Romana _ and I'll try to do some lives. I'm also on Kumu sometimes, Romana. And I don't have like a weekly schedule. If you just follow me there, you'll be informed of like
Mm-hmm.
when I do go live. Yeah,
Yes, I mean with your day job and all, it's really hard to commit like to a certain time and day.
definitely, yeah. But I try to go
Yes, go
live as
ahead.
often as possible.
All right. Well, thank you so much for telling us about your music and about how you started in this industry. Thank you so much also for, showing everyone that there are still artists like you who go the traditional route and, just really want to experience that live performance feels. And I'm sure, a lot of people who are watching right now resonate with that. We miss the live crowd so much.
Yes,
But in the
definitely.
meantime, there's online busking. But before we let you go, Chris, do you have any message to say to everyone watching right now and to all of your supporters?
Yeah, I'm just so happy to be here, and thank you so much for listening to me and streaming the songs. Really means a lot to me, and I hope you guys keep safe during this time.
There you go. Thank you so much, Chris Santa Romana. And this has been a MYXclusive interview. Thank you so much for joining me. Once again, I'm BJ IE. To everyone watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok, have a great day. Once again, thank you so much, Chris Santa Romana.
Thank you
Woohoo!
so much. I